Hey yo, what up everybody? This is your favorite conquistador back with another video. If you haven't already seen my last video, definitely please do check it out. I'm going to be filming the music video for Shots Fired Part 2 tomorrow, which is why I'm shaved. And yes, I am on my Walter Mercado shit today. So I just want to do a couple videos. I got to charge my phone after this. But I just felt inspired to do this topic today because there's just an uprising of people who are illegitimate being exposed, people that are illegitimate within the ocha, palo, community. Of course, there's Haitian voodoo, there's 21 divisions, there's Sansa, there's many different, Maria Leonza. But for me, I'm going to be talking mostly about ocha, but everything what I'm saying applies to all the traditions. So there's just been recent occurrences recent occurrences of certain individuals being exposed, and this is not to throw any booyahs or nothing. No shots fired in this video, but I do state facts, okay? And if I can't say the word facts because I'm not crowned either. But you got people out here that are not crowned that know more than they should, and you got people that have been crowned for 50 years and don't know how to freaking moyuba. So let's just get that straight. So I just want to go over a few questions that you should be able to ask any elder, any santero, palero, whatever, so that you can weed out the legitimate from the illegitimate, and just things to look at and look at sideways if anyone tries to tell you differently. If there's anyone who disagrees with what I'm about to say, then please let me know. Tell me about the 25 years of ocha that you have, compared to my 0, okay? Because I don't claim to be anything that I'm not, okay? But I stand by what I'm saying right now. So certain questions that you should be able to ask any santero is, to get a feel for how legit they are. Their spiritual lineage. What rama they come from. These are questions that they should be able to ask. What rama do you come from? Rama, for anybody who don't speak Spanish, means branch. Okay, are you la pimienta, are you culo verde, are you fuche? There's different ramas. And then if you're talking about friggin', like palo, those names, you go, oh, yeah, mayombe, palo briumba, palo monte, palo quimbisa, palo blah, blah, blah. I know there's other ones. And then it gets even deeper where it's okay, well, you're Brahma con Brahma, arriba en Toto Mbele, blah, 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 blah. Oh, okay, and that comes from so-and-so place in Cuba. But an elder should be able to answer that question. What is their spiritual lineage concerning that path? So since we're talking about ocha, okay, what's their spiritual lineage? What is your rama? Who crowned you? Who is your godparent? Where you get your orishas from? Because orisha is born of orisha. And so just having a love for Yemayat doesn't mean that you're crowned Yemayat. Having a bunch of pictures around a pretty altar with some blue candles doesn't mean that you have Yemayat. Who crowned you? And when I say who crowned you, what's their name and what's their ocha name? They should be able to answer this. Who's your yubon or yubona? Yubon meaning male, yubona meaning female, the second in command. The yubona is essential when it comes to a crowning, and they do, not even arguably, it's known that the yubona works their ass off when it comes to a crowning. Who is, again, what's their name and what's their ocha name? And not everybody knows this, but it helps, it helps to know who's the oba oriate that put the orisha on your head. What's their name and what's their ocha name? Let me see. How many years do you have crowned? That's the easiest one to fake. You know, because there's been a recent occurrence. Again, I'm not saying any names, but if you've been following up on Janet Leti, God bless you, love you. And también Ali Onilade Miyatobi. You know, there's been some crazy occurrences. You know, so how many years crowned? That's the easiest one that people can fake. Even who crowned you, you know. But it's not just the name, because anybody can be named freaking, you know, XYZ with some long Spanish name. What's their name, their actual name, their government name, and their ocha name, and the house that they come from. Everything is a line. You know, everything is a lineage. There should be receipts to back up everything that you're saying. If all you give me is a generic ass name, okay, so their name is, I don't know, Cindy Lou. Cindy Lou who? What's their ocha name? And these are questions. So what's your spiritual lineage? Who crowned you? Who's your Yuwon or Yuwona? Who's the Oba Oriate that put the orisha on your head? How many years do you have crowned? What's your ocha name? That's another one. What's your ocha name? I do know, there's some elders that that would prefer to not give their ocha name out. For some people that, you know, their ocha name is considered very sacred. So, you know, if they don't want to give their ocha name, then that's understandable. But from my personal experience, when a person has a big old house, you know, when a person has a big old house, then they should have no issue revealing their ocha name. You know, it's not something like it's a name. You know, the person who refused to tell me their ocha name is someone that I love and respect, and they don't have a whole pueblo, they don't have a whole house, and they're just super duper old school. But I'm sure if this individual had a big old pueblo, and they had like 50 god kids, whatever, they would have no issue saying their ocha name because they live it. The person didn't want to reveal their name, their ocha name. You know, they don't live ocha. They're not big on it. They did it for health reasons. Ija. You know, so some people, you know, it's not mandatory to give your ocha name, but things that every santero should be able to answer. Your spiritual lineage. Who crowned you? Who's a yubona yubona? If they can remember. Who's the oba oriate? If they can remember. How many years crowned? I made a note over here that all this information, all these questions that I'm asking you to ask your elders before you get involved with a godparent, this is information that any santero should be proud to divulge. So if they can't answer these questions, or they don't want to answer these questions, or divulge this information to you as to who crowned them, how many years did they have crowned, who's a yuwana, then run. You know, there's a difference between being just straight, you know, ignorant. If they can't answer like, oh, I don't know, I just did it, you know, it was done how many years ago, well, then you have to try a different tactic, you know. But for the most part, you know, everybody should be able to answer who crowned you at the least. You know, because there are people that are just ignorant santeros who have been crowned many, many years and simply not taught anything. And they are ignorant. They don't know anything. And it's not their fault. Or they never took out the time to learn. But you don't do a 7-day ceremony and spend the money that it takes to get it done and dress them in white for a year and 7 days and everything and not know, you know, who the hell put the orisha on your head, you know? So those are basic questions that every santero should be able to ask. If they say you have to just trust me, or they get offended, if a person gets offended for you asking who crowned them, and what's their spiritual lineage, and who's the yuwana, and what's the ocha name, and to back up what they're saying with receipts, well then run. You know, because we're living in 2020. You know, that's basic information. We're not living in a time where, yes, back in the day it was you shut your mouth, you trust, you don't ask questions, and you get the ceremony done. Now in 2020, everybody thinks because they got a bunch of rocks and a nice looking sopera that everybody's walking around with orisha. Or the other extreme where people are mixing Wicca and they have pretty altars with statues of orisha saying that they have orisha done, and they just want to do ceremonies to others and they don't got shit. Okay, just keeping it real. A point I wanted to touch on is that concerning when it comes to legitimacy, things to look out for. If a person offers to crown you, just know that it takes a tribe to crown someone. It takes more than just two people. It takes more than just a wife and her husband. I think for certain orishas, it could take I think it takes at least 10 to 15 people to crown someone. Just the crowning. I'm not talking about anything else. There's cooks involved. You have the people that have to, you have the person being crowned, you have the godparent, you have the yubona. You have the other santeros, other crowned, legitimately crowned priests and priestesses of olocha that have to be present. I think it's got to be at least 10, something like that. And for certain orishas, got to be sometimes more. You have the cook, because someone's got to cook for 7 days. You got to have the people who know where the acheses come from the animals. Even before that, you have to have the people plucking the animals. It just takes a lot of damn people. A whole space is rented and everything. Like, it takes a lot of people. So if someone says, "Oh, we can crown you, bada bing, bada boom, and it's just gonna be me and my husband. It's gonna be me and my kids," and there's 5 people in the room, and they do that shit. Another thing. Well, number 1, it takes a tribe. Number 2, it takes 7 days to get crowned. Okay, 7. If you're arara, 14. Getting crowned is not something that gets done in one day. Getting your necklaces gets done in one day. Getting your warriors gets done in one day, sometimes on the same day. Getting your mano de orula gets done in 3 days. Getting crowned ocha takes 7 days. Getting crowned ocha arara takes 14 days. So anybody who just takes you to a back room and says a bunch of bada bang, bada boom, boom, you got a orisha on your head. It don't work like that. Okay? Another thing, babalaos cannot crown you. Babalaos have, you have ocha and you have ifa. Okay, there's 2 sections. Okay, and there's all these mini cults. And I don't know what to call them, mini cults. You have your osainistas, you have ocha, you have ifa, you have abacua and palo, and hold on. Alright, sorry guys, I don't know if it got skipped or whatever. I had to pause the video for a moment. What was I saying? So yes, so babalaos do not crown people. Ifa is ifa, ocha is ocha. They intermingle. They each play very important roles. Mafedefun ifa, mafedefun ocha. Pero babalaos do not put anything on your head. At least when it comes to orisha, because someone's going to be like, well, they can rogate your head with a red snapper. I don't mean like that. I mean like babalaos do not crown anybody. Okay? What's another thing? Your lover, your husband, or your wife does not crown you. You do not receive anything from your spouse. You cannot receive anything from your spouse. What if you fall in love with a person after the fact? Well, number 1, something as big as crowning. That's, there's spiritual incest. So as soon as any feelings between a godparent and the godchild are developed, there should be no ceremony. Once there's romantic feelings or sexual attraction in any capacity, then that person can no longer or should no longer be your godparent. If you start looking at your godparent not as a parent, but as someone that you want to sleep with, or you want to have a life with. And there's nothing wrong. Hey, okay, you thought this person was going to be someone that was going to guide you spiritually, be like a godparent. Instead, you find that they're a beautiful person and you're attracted to them, they're attracted to you. Okay, but that means that they cannot give you anything. You can't receive anything from this person, and you cannot give anything to this person. Godchildren are not meant to be sleeping with godparents. And as soon as that's made mutual between the two, that's when any kind of spiritual receiving out of anything has to be cut off. There's nothing wrong with two spiritualists falling in love. But when it comes to the godchild relationship, the dynamics, it has to be mutual. It has to be completely non-romantic. There's a beautiful santera that I know, God bless her, where she said, that she's had people come to her, like, who, oh, I want you to be my godparent. And she said, no, I can't be your godparent. And they said, oh, why? Because I don't see you as a godchild. I see you as a man. And they go, oh, okay. That's the right thing to do. And she wasn't going to take their money because she just wanted the money. There should be no sexual attraction or romantic attraction of any kind. Even if it's not just, oh, let's just screw. Even if it's like genuine love. Okay, there could be genuine love. Wonderful. But you cannot receive anything from a lover. And you cannot give. If you're crowned, you cannot crown someone that you're in love with. It doesn't work like that. That's spiritual incest, okay? So if someone says, oh, my husband crowned me. What? Or I'm crowned and I'm going to crown my wife. No. If someone says, I crowned my mother or I crowned my father, run, because that's a no-no. You don't do that. Your mother gave birth to you. Your father gave birth to you. How are you going to go back and give birth to them spiritually? It doesn't work like that. Another no-no. If you're the youngest out of 5 kids, you cannot crown. You're the youngest, you cannot crown any of your brothers and sisters. From the oldest to youngest can crown. So the oldest person out of those 5 kids can crown her other 4 brothers and sisters. But none of her other 4 brothers and sisters can crown her because she's the oldest. When it comes to siblings, you can crown younger, but not older. I can crown no one. I'm the youngest out of 2 sisters. I can't crown either of them. But both of them, they can crown me. The one that's in the middle can crown me, but can't crown the oldest sister. I hope I'm making sense. So you can't crown a lover, you can't crown boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. You can't crown your parents. Your parents can't crown you. They already gave birth to you once. Your mom gave birth to you once. Your dad gave birth to you once. They cannot crown you. There's levels to the shit. I don't want to make this too long. And then this is the last point that I'll make, is this. Orisha is birth from one orisha to the next. So if the person is not crowned legitimately, then they have no authority nor the ache to give anyone any orishas or any necklaces or any ceremonies. If a person's not crowned, and this is speaking for legitimately crowned priests and priestesses, if a person is not crowned, they have no authority to be giving you any necklaces, any orisha beads, elekes, no authority to be touching your head like rogations, no authority to be crowning you, no authority, to be giving you freaking mano de orula, nothing. And that's another thing. Only babalaos or luos, only the initiated of Ifa can give you mano de orula. Santeros do not give mano de orula. Santeros do not give you echu. Babalaos do not crown you. Babalaos do not give you necklaces, the eleques. If a babalao is saying that, oh yeah, come and we're going to initiate you and we're going to give you these beads, we're going to give you all these beads. No, what does a babalao give you? The only beads he gives is the green and yellow ones, or the reddish brown and green, depending on the lineage. The reddish brown ones is more the African side. The green and yellow is more Afro-Cuban Lukumi. That I know, those are the only beads that they give. But the whole, giving El Eguaje, Maya, Chango, Ochun, the pillars, the 5 pillars of Ocha, a Santero gives that. A Babalocha gives that. Any Olocha gives that. So, Orisha is birthed from another. So if I'm not crowned, I cannot give you anything. It doesn't matter how much I love the Orisha. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter anything. The person has no authority to, or nor the Ache to have anything given. And when I say one Orisha is birthed from another, let's say, I have Babaluaye. It takes one Babaluaye to birth another Babaluaye. Meaning it takes me having Babaluaye first so that I can give you Babaluaye. And then when you have Babaluaye, then at some point you can give someone else Babaluaye. But it's just one Orisha is born from another, born to another, born from another, born from, to another, and so on and so forth. And that's why every Orisha has a lineage where it goes back to the quote unquote first person. That's where the lineage comes from. But if your Orisha doesn't come from another Orisha, Orishas are not born out of thin air. Orishas are born from another person's Orisha. And that person's are born from another person's. If I had to reword it, the godchild, their Orishas are born from the godparents' Orisha. And that God's parents' Orishas are born from their godparents' Orisha. And so on and so forth. And that's where you get these lineages of like La Pimienta, Efuche, and all the other ramas that are involved in Ocha, Palo, and yada, yada, yada. So I hope that I was clear. I know I wasn't completely on point, at least getting off of tangents, but I stand by what the hell I said. Thank you. And if you have any questions, comments, leave it in the comment box below. And yes, I am, continuing to sell my Orisha books. I got, for people who want to learn the songs, I got Obatala, Ochosi, Agayu, Obayewa, Nanaburuku, and Osain. So, if you're interested, leave your email in the comments below. My email is elconquistadormusic1 at gmail.com. That's the number 1, elconquistadormusic1 at gmail.com. So let me know if it's something you're interested in, and leave your email in the comments below, and I'll email you. And thank you for watching, guys. I hope that, this just creates dialogue, Peace out, guys. Bendición.